Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Chrysalis 10 Light Large Crystal Pendant. I happen to have the crystal right here. We'll talk more about it in just a second. This is the 131144. Let's get into the size of the fixture to begin with. So when they talk about the size of the fixture, they're really talking about the fixture body, and that's going to encompass the glass, the retaining ring that's embedded in the top. And mind you, the distance from here to here is about 9.1 inches, just something you should note. When they talk about the fixture body, they're actually talking about the little parts that are just above it as well, but just before you get to the cable. And all of that is going to equal 11.6. So it's good for you to know the difference between those two things. So moving on from there, why don't we talk about overall height? And that's going to be the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the ceiling itself. And you're going to have two ranges available. There's a pull down menu that says choose your length. So the shortest this can be, and this is going to be, remember, from the bottom of the glass to the actual ceiling itself, it's going to start off at 15 inches all the way to 80 inches as the standard. If you need the longer one, that goes from 15 to 130. If you need longer than 130, drop a quick email, tell us what you need, and we do customs to get you there. Okay, let's get into a couple other things on this. So let's talk about the canopy that's up in the ceiling. Canopy up in the ceiling is going to be, how big is that? 8.5 inches wide, 44.5 inches long, and that's going to be a left to right. It's about that thick. It's holding a transformer. It's going to transform your line voltage down to low voltage so it goes safely through those cables down to the sockets down below. Okay, more about that canopy. A good way to show you a lot of the good details about that is to look at the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen, midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you how it goes together. But the cool thing it's going to show you are going to be these detailed technical drawings of the inside of the canopy and how it goes on your ceiling. It's a good way for you to see a lot of that. Another detail about the canopy is the can part of the canopy. That's going to be the sides that touch the ceiling are always going to be in black. The bottom, which is the faceplate facing down, is going to be in that finish under choose your finish. So something you should know as well. And then on the faceplate down below, you're going to see what are called grippers. Grippers are what you push the cables into. They're also called a strain relief, and you're going to be pushing those in. They kind of lock so they don't come back down again. If you need them to go back down again because you're trying to adjust your crystals, you use your thumbnail, push it in, it'll unlock it, and you kind of back those back out again. And when you're arranging your crystals, you can do them straight across, you can do a V coming down, you can kind of do them staggered, which is kind of my favorite. It's really up to you to play designer on all of that. Okay, and those little grippers are always going to be kind of a polished chrome, little detail, but remember the flat part of this canopy is always going to be in the finish that you guys choose off that choose your finish. Okay, moving on from there. Slope ceiling adaptable to 45 degrees, something you should know too, in one direction only. So if you're going to be putting this on a slope ceiling, call me or drop me a quick email. Email is always better. It's just sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. Then you can do it whenever you need to. Coming in at 59.6 pounds. It's something to tell your installer about. That's pretty important as well. Let's talk about the glass again one more time. So Hubbardton Forge sources their glass from the best glass makers in the entire world. And if you got a chance to see this in person, you would understand that. So this is hand blown into a mold. It's crystal. And then they actually take the whole thing and they dip it in molten glass on top of that, in an opaque glass. So you're going to have two choices. You're going to have this matte white. The other one is going to be a matte black. And they're both pretty striking. After they do that, they basically take it and they grind it against these wheels and buffer and grind these facets just like a gemstone. So they have buffing wheels to do that, and it reveals the clear crystal underneath this mat. And the mat is opaque too, so you're not going to be able to see your sockets inside. Okay, very cool. Okay, I'm going to put that there so you can check it out, and it's very substantial. This is not like light stuff. They're not kidding around. That's how you get up here almost 60 pounds. It's mostly glass. Inside of that is going to be a G10. Is it a G10? Yeah. G10 LED socket. So G10 sockets are these little sockets. They have little holes in them. They accept the little prongs that come out of the G4 bulbs. And you're going to have 10 of these, don't forget. So you're going to have 10 of these G4 sockets. You're going to be using LEDs only, and you're going to be using 4-watt LEDs, 10 of them. G4 LEDs, what am I saying here? A 4-watt LED is the equivalent of a 40-watt incandescent. And again, you have 10 of them. Adds up to quite a bit here. So that's going to be important to know. Another thing is you want to buy dimmable LEDs. A good place to do that is going to be probably on Amazon or 1001bulbs.com or bulbs.com. Amazon is probably the easiest way to find these. They come in these little cob LEDs. They look like corn cobs, kind of a cylinder with little facets all over it. Each of these is an LED. They also come in these other types of LEDs that you can find too. There's no better or worse. I tend to like these myself just because we use these all over our showroom. So more about this. So you want to make sure it's dimmable. That's going to be pretty important. The color of the light is going to be super important. So when you're looking, let's say you go on Amazon and you're put in your G4 4-watt LED, and up pops up a big list that's going to show you all kinds of things you can get. First, you're going to make sure it's dimmable. Second, you're going to make sure you get it in the color temperature that you like. So there's different color temperatures with LEDs. We talk about it all the time. 2700 Kelvin is like the setting sun. That's like a super yellow one. Way on the other side of that is going to be called daylight. And daylight sounds like it's a warm light, like it should be. You think daylight, right? It's not. It's a white light, like an overcast day or a hospital waiting room light. That's going to be 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin when you see that listed. In the middle of all that, what we like to use in our showroom is called warm white, and that's 3,000 Kelvin. That is the light that's on my hands right now coming from these 3,000 Kelvin LEDs, which we really like. It has a nice glow, mimics an incandescent light, and just kind of what we like. That's the 3,000 Kelvin. But again, choose the one that you like. Make sure it's dimmable. One more little thing that you might want to notice on this and some of these other linear fixtures. So this is going to be 44.7 inches long, left to right. However, we have sometimes customers who come to us and say, I have a 10-foot long table, I have a 12-foot long island, I need this to be longer, spread out left to right. And we do custom lengths, so the best thing to do would be to drop a quick email, sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, tell us what you're looking for in detail, and then we can get Hubbardton Forge's customs department to quote that out for you. Let's get into finishes now. If you're on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over on this side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a tab. It's going to say Finishes Help Guide. Click on that for me. There's going to be a video on there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes and how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be talking about a chart a little farther down on the page. You'll see it next to me here. It's going to kind of go over the differences between heavy forging and non-heavy forging, and it'll be talked about in that video. So it's really important that you kind of watch the video, use the chart. You can click on that chart on different things. So you can click on dark smoke and a big page will pop up and show you lots of different things in dark smoke. Click on burnished steel or natural iron, it'll do the same thing. But it's really important that you understand how Hubbardton Forge's finishes are kind of divided into translucent and opaque and how they can look on different fixtures. Our showroom in Vermont has we're up to 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We have a What's on Display page. It's way up there in those red tabs again, so click on that and you can see what we have to show you. That changes all the time because we're always adding things as they come out. Showroom's open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. We have an amazing clearance center here too. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you were coming to visit us, bring a good-sized vehicle, something like a big SUV or maybe a small truck or something like that, because you might find something in the clearance center that you want to take home, and it's a lot of fun to go through. 75% off MSRP is an amazing bargain, so you should really take advantage of it if you can. Like I said, we're open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can call us at 802-446-2400 during business hours. You can email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. We love to answer emails. When you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. There's no tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else even comes close to that. Some larger items are non-returnable. We'll always tell you about that. It'll be in the description thing, that part of the description underneath on the very bottom. So keep an eye out for that. We also offer a rush program. Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. They don't stock anything. That's how you're going to get all your finishes, your adjustable ranges to play with, all those things. We can cut that time in half, and it's super inexpensive. If you want to know more, drop a quick email, and I can walk you through the whole thing, okay? So, guys have any other questions, let me know. Love to see you in our showroom sometime, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.